Somebody in the chat says it looks like we're going to be listening to Kendrick's album in bad faith, or it sounds like we're going to be listening to it in bad
No,
faith. No, I want it to
no,
be great.
their faith. It's just like, no, how is he top 10 is what we're really asking. And why are y'all holding it in that such high regard is really what I'm asking.
It's just like how we were talking about Jay-Z in a previous show. I don't see any signs that he's gonna knock it out the park with this, other than the fact that he's been consistent over his time. But you guys tell me, please tell me, any MC in hip hop ever who's taken 5 years off and came back with a banging ass album. Tell me. I mean, if you can show me those examples, and we have decades, I would say 4 decades of this genre on a mainstream level to go through. Tell me anybody who left, I guess left us with a project and came back 5 years later and had the game in the palm of their hand.
I don't know game in the palm of their hand, Mike, but I think we might have brought up the last guys to actually do it depending on the time difference. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, there's a 4.5 year gap between Hard to Earn and Moment of Truth. That's exactly what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, I remember there being some time off between Hard to Earn and Moment of Truth, but it's a 4 year gap.
It's 4, it's not 5.
It's not. And that's a group where the producer actually, during that break, went on one of the great producers.
I was going to say, it's not the same. Yeah, that's not the same. Because half of that group, and honestly, Guru was doing some Jazzmatazz stuff.
Jazzmatazz is dope. Jazzmatazz is banging. Yeah. No, I like Jazzmatazz Volume 1. Watch What You Say with Shaka Khan. Yeah.
But hearing nothing? No.
Yeah, we heard nothing.
It's nobody who's done that. So on top of that, and the fact that we haven't heard him featured on much or whatever, and the features that we have heard, it's not like they ringing bells like that. I mean, we're gonna listen to it. I don't love the title of the album, and let me know in the chat if you guys do. I mean, you guys like the title of this album? Y'all like the title, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? That sound like a banging rap album to you guys? I mean, let me know. I'm not trying to be funny or whatever.
I just want to ask some questions too. I just want to be clear. Is he better than Nas?
No.
Rakim?
No.
Jay-Z?
No.
Biggie?
No. Well, but see, Biggie's such a different thing.
I'm asking, it's yes or no, Mike. Yes
or no. Listen, I'll say this. I'm going to be fair. I don't know. When it comes to Biggie, I like Biggie better. I think Biggie's more skilled and all that, but we talk about 2 albums versus what Kendrick's done in his career. Obviously, Biggie's individual songs trump Kendrick's individual songs.
Mike,
I'm gonna say Biggie is. I'm gonna say Biggie
might have more classic material that isn't on either 2 of his solo albums than this guy has made in his career. Do you understand that?
No, I agree with you. I mean,
there's no talking about him being better when we can talk about a guy having more classic material without talking about the 2 brief albums that he made. You're not better. Is he better than Scarface?
I don't think so.
Is he better than Tupac?
I don't think so.
Is he better than Ghostface?
Me personally, I don't think so. But I'm trying to be objective here. Like if we talk about
where. If he is, where? Is he a better storyteller? Is he a better lyricist? Is he a better album maker? No.
He might be a better album maker, maybe.
Mike, I mean, how about this? It's like I would.
But if we're giving Ghost half of the purple tape, no.
Mike, if we're giving Ghost half of the purple tape, this isn't the conversation.
No, you're right.
But I'll tell you this: I'll listen to Iron Man and Supreme Clientele. Mike, Bulletproof Wallets. Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, and Fish Scale is just as good as Kendrick's 4-album run.
You know how I feel about To Pimp a Butterfly. And I say it all the time. When I first heard To Pimp a Butterfly, I didn't listen to anything that anybody on social media said. I got halfway through that album. I was like, this is the best hip-hop album I heard since Supreme Clientele. So that's how...
Supreme Clientele, is it, though? But it's not Supreme Clientele, is it? Has it held up like Supreme Clientele?
It ain't Supreme Clientele to me.
It ain't Supreme Clientele. All right, so go.
But I don't know if I'm being biased. I'm trying to be,
Mike, I don't know anybody that walks around and says To Pimp a Butterfly is better than Supreme Clientele.
Jordan House says Ghost got Kendrick off of Supreme Clientele alone. So,
yeah. Hello and good night. This is the guy that's the co-author of the Purple Tape 1 and 2, Iron Man, Bulletproof Wallet, Supreme Clientele, and Fish Scale.
And he was on Wu-Tang Forever and Into the 36.
Into the Wu-Tang. So. Yeah, that's him on Can It All Be So Simple. That was a single off Into the Wu-Tang.
So let's look at it like this. No, Mike, if Ghostface and Kendrick sit across from each other in a versus type format and they go on record for record, I think Ghostface wins that.
Ghost is winning. And Mike, and now KRS won.
Nah.
We just named 9 Emcees. Hello?
But see, people keep saying compare Kendrick to people now, but I get that.
No, I thought he was all-time great.
People are saying all-time, so we're bringing in all the guys, you know.
No, I thought he's all-time.
Because when we talk about Steph, we talk about Steph Curry, we start talking about Magic, talk about Isaiah.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's only fair.
Hey, so when they talk about Steph now, they go straight Magic, Stockton, Zeke.
Listen, man, that's disrespectful, but whatever. Because this nigga needs to win a Finals MVP for any of those talks. You got You got 5 Finals appearances and 0 Finals MVPs. You're not in the same room.
I know that he's ahead of CP3, but I would still take CP3.
He's he's a better shooter than CP3, but yeah, what CP3's doing right now at his age for this squad, it's unheard of.
I mean, Mike, if you actually want to talk as far as shooting the ball as a point guard, in the history of this sport, the only guys that probably have been better shooters than Chris Paul at the point guard position are Steph Curry and Steve Nash. Everybody else, it may be Isaiah Thomas. I'll take Isaiah.
You think Isaiah's a better shooter than CP3?
Not really. That's why I'm saying just in the clutch. And I don't even know that because CP's been like spazzing in the clutch lately the last couple of years.
I think that the jump shot is, long range jumpers are a lot more important now than they were in that era. I think John Stockton might have been a better shooter than CP.
He's not. He's not a better mid range guy. He couldn't create his shot the way CP3 could.
I can get what I'm saying.
Right. So he's probably the 3rd or 4th best shooting point guard of all time. He's top 2 or 3 at distributing the ball because I think the only better distributors of the ball at the point guard position are Magic and Stockton, maybe Kidd. So he's top 3 or 4 at almost everything. So I
think Kyrie and Dame are better shooters too. I mean, Mad Max said that. I agree with that. I think just from a jump shot standpoint, long range shot standpoint, I think Kyrie and Dame are better shooters.
Kyrie and Dame be having games where they be going 9 for 27 and shit. CP3 don't do that. No, they're not.
I mean, CP3 doesn't have a 3-point.
No, he's a better.
He doesn't have like a 3-point contest title. He doesn't. And Dame and Kyrie do.
I'll give them that. They're better distance shooters. But Mike, I bet you if you go pull up the stats, he's a better 3-point shooter for his career percentage-wise than both of them. I bet you.
Well, I'm sure that the numbers of shots are different too, but I'm sure it's probably comparable. I don't think he's that much better.
But the main thing usually you look at when talking about shooting is shooting percentage.
We'll come back with the next show with those stats. But yeah, I'm taking Dame and Kyrie as a shooter over CP. But when you talk about being a point guard and doing everything that a point guard does, yeah, I'm with it. I think that Chris is incredible.
No, you're talking about a shot like to win the game. I'm talking about just like shooting the ball regular throughout the game. Like Dame and Kyrie do shit and have games like CP3 never has because he's not ill with the ball. He's a point guard.
Okay.
Oh my God.
How did we get on that tangent?
No idea how we got to CP3.
Not sure. We were talking about
Kendrick top 10-ish is kind of where we were, and we were kind of
that's where we were.
We were at KRS-One, and so we were 9 MCs deep, and he definitely doesn't deserve to be ahead of them. And so the best that he can hope for is 10. Is that kind of where we're at? Because do you think he's better than Redman?
I think that
he's better than Black Thought.
Listen, man, I think that on an all-time list, I think that based on what he's done in his career, yeah, we probably have to put him above Redman and Black Thought.
Are you sure about that, though?
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Okay.
But listen, now ask me if I think that Black Thought's a better rapper than him. Yes, I do. But if we actually take everything in totality, it'd be very hard for me to say that I'm putting Black Thought ahead of him. And I know Black Thought's the author of those Roots albums.
Right.
But
so you put the Jadakiss?
I'm putting them above Jadakiss because of the albums. But see, again, I hold albums very high.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like the albums is all you're holding high, then it's like we're freezing a lot of people out.
Because this is the thing, and we got to be real about this. Not a lot of people, as talented as they are, and we talked about this when we were talking about Crooked Eye, not a lot of people have been able to culminate, albums to this level 4 or 5 times. I'm just going to say 4. We're going to say Section 80,
yes,
Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn.
Yes.
And we got to be fair. As much as I love Jadakiss and how incredible I think his longevity and his feature game is, he hasn't been able to come with 4 albums like those. That doesn't mean that they're untouchable from one another. I will say this. If this Mr. Morals and the Big Steppers is what I think it's going to end up being, I might have to end up putting Jada ahead of him.
Okay. So you got Jada ahead of Thought. Where's Pusha T?
I don't actually.
Right.
Because my thing is, I think Thought's a better songwriter than Jada.
He is. He wrote "Break You Off" and "You Got Me."
Yeah.
And "Hypnotic." Like, yeah, he's written.
And I'll Never Do What They Do. And
yeah, so that's why I was like, when you put Kendrick ahead of him, I'm thinking like, does Kendrick have a "You Got Me," a "What They Do," a "Break You Off," a "Hypnotic"? Like, Thought's written some hits too.
He has.
Yeah, so are you sure that he's better? Because also too, this is what I keep trying to tell you. It's like, oh no, Thought got that root shit. It's like, no, Do You Want More is a classic. Illadelph Half-Life is a classic. Do You Want More is a dope album. Phrenology is a dope album. The Tipping Point is a dope ass album. Like, Thought also has his freestyle and mixtape game. Thought also has done 2 dope solo EPs. It's like, are you sure Kendrick is better? Because if the catalog is the only thing that you have to go off of, and everything about the other MC says he's better, how is that guy better?
Love Me More Meticulous says, Mike, you're thinking too hard. And she might be right. You may be right.
Mike, that's what I keep, it's kind of one of those things. I'm a big fan of the eye test, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, quick football analogy. It's like, oh, I know Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time, based on the totality of all things, okay? If I'm on the field, I happen to think Randy Moss is the 2nd greatest wide receiver of all time. If we walk out onto a football field and you get the first pick of wide receivers and you take Jerry Rice and you don't take Randy Moss, I'm about to have a day on your ass. You feel me? Because the totality of things make Jerry better. But it's like, when you really look at it, it's like, well, is Jerry 6'4"? No. Jerry run 4'2"? No. Jerry got hands like an alien? No. Jerry got a 40-inch vertical? No. Give me that guy. And all I'm saying is that he don't check all those boxes like that. He's more like Jerry Rice to you guys. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that, well, he's not even Jerry Rice, because we got guys like Nas, Scarface, Ghostface, Jay-Z that have even outdone him at that.
Yeah,
so he's
and that's true.
That. So he's more like, and listen to what I'm about to say, he's more like Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp, when he played, all-time great, could put him next to any guy. Could put him next to Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice any day. For when he was playing, a neck injury robbed him of his career, so he only really played about 5 prime years, 7 years total. But in his prime for 5 years, he was as good as, if not better than, Jerry Rice even some of those years. He actually set the single-season touchdown catches and receiving records like in different years. First-team All-Pro. Even was beating Michael Irvin out for All-Pros. That's when he was playing. Jerry Rice ended up being the greatest receiver of all time because he kept on playing.
Longevity goes a long way.
You have to play this game. Even Randy Moss. Randy Moss is 2nd all-time in touchdown catches at 153, but Randy played about 14, 15 years. Too, people forget that. He had about 10 seasons where he caught over 10 touchdowns.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Kendrick passed on the Black Hippies album. Goats don't duck their crew or label mates. Woo! You know what? You You guys are bringing Kendrick down to earth for me right now, because what I'm saying, what I'm seeing, and what I'm thinking, based on everything you're saying, and me thinking again, over analyzing, I'm taking a lot of points off for this 5 year break
That's
during
what
the
I
time that it
always
is.
say.
This
Not
is
fair.
not a five. This isn't a 5 year break from '06 to 2011. This is a 5 year break while things are really popping in hip hop. Like, you would think that would be a rapper's dream. Anybody who was influenced by hip hop and all the rapidy rap stuff and the way that Kendrick puts together his projects, you would think what has happened in hip hop, this resurgence of lyricists and lyricism from 2018 to now, would be that would be your dream. This would be where you thrive.
Can I tell you how special he really is and how he's really blown a special opportunity? And here's how special this opportunity is and how fleeting they come.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first guy that I've seen since Jada Kiss that was literally set up and put in position to be a top 5 all-time MC and be in the argument to be the greatest MC of all time. That's how legit his claim was. Like, these guys that I have ahead of him, he was supposed to pass them in these last 5 years, Mike. He's supposed to be ahead of Ghost right now. He's supposed to be ahead of Scarface. He's supposed to be creeping into a territory right now where we're saying that it's like, well, no, he might be better than Jay. He might be better than Nas. He might be better than Big. And we have legitimate claim to the fact, and we don't. But people keep talking about it like it happened. It didn't happen. It happened where he paused that. He paused somewhere in that 10 to 15 realm, and guys in that same realm have gotten better, and their legend has grown. That's why I brought up Redman. The legend of Muddy Waters has grown more.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if Muddy Waters is. I don't know if Kendrick has an album better than Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters has held up remarkably.
Muddy Waters is insane. Jay Short says, if Nas can make a Braveheart album and Biggie can make a Junior Mafia album, hey, I mean, shit, not only did he make the Braveheart album, didn't he do the Queensbridge album? We think about the same one?
Mike, he did The Firm, the QB album. Biggie did the Junior Mafia album. Jay did the Dynasty album and put For the Fam. For the Fam is one of the best beats ever, one of the best posse cuts ever. He put that on a Mills album.
Yeah. You like For the Fam like that? I never heard you say that about For the Fam.
Oh, For the Fam? Late night, club night, track nights.
Yeah.
Late night, naked truck. I pull up Cadillac, truck nights, 2 guns. You know, Mac Pack Gat twice.
You got Once Again It's On a State Property album.
Get that crack back with that ice, no joke with the coke. I whips that. Yeah, they going in on that. Bleak is snapping on there. We them niggas be in your crib just like furniture.
Yo. Because you was talking about Scarface earlier. Scarface feature game is crazy.
Stupid, nasty.
Everywhere. He's everywhere. Misses. He's worked with everybody.
Never misses when he steps in.
Yeah.
Never misses when he steps in the batter's box.
But on the all-time list, that's what Kendrick's going up against. And it doesn't really shape up.
Right.
Because like you said, the strongest thing he has is his catalog album for album. Not even catalog song for song, per se.
Yeah, and you're not even Face, as in Scar or Ghost. Right. Hold on. How do you think this is Scarface with Jay and Nas in their prime, trading bars with them, favor for a favor? Guess who's back? This can't be life. We got any? Where the evidence at? Who we got Kendrick trading bars with at that level in his prime?
This is what Pusha T on nostalgia, I guess.
That's it. That's why it's one of his best 10 verses. A lot of that has to do with the competition level. He doesn't have the best verse on Control. Jay Electronica has the best verse on Control. We're going to keep on saying that.
So this is what I've always thought, right? I think there's 2 ways to make classic albums, great albums. You make it the Thriller way, or you make it the way that Kendrick normally makes it, where it's like everything flows together. You either make it where,
What you mean make it the Thriller way? What you mean?
Where you just got every song on there as a hit. Or you make it...
Rappers can't do that.
Well, you know what I mean. You know. I guess the best way to say it in a rapper standpoint,
Doggy style?
exactly,
Right.
or
Got it.
Great Adventures.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what
I
I'm
got
saying?
it.
Like you either make it in that way where you just got so many songs on there, undeniable. I think Jay did that with Volume 2 also, where it's like it's so many songs on there that hit. It's like people, oh, this is a classic. You got Jigga What on there. You got Can I Get a What on there.
No,
You
it
got
vibes.
Money Ain't a Thing on there, huh?
No, it vibes like that for the time,
That's
not
what I'm
necessarily.
saying. When it came out, it was
Right.
like, oh shit,
Right.
all these songs is on the radio. It's a
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah, bangers. Bangers for
Right.
that.
You got bangers on, you know what I'm saying, the whole album. Everything that
Yeah.
was on volume 2 was damn near on the radio, you know what I mean? And so you could either make a classic like that, and I guess is the best correlation because they came out the same day, or you can make one like a Kumina where everything just flows together. And then you got some, you know what I'm saying, some hit songs in that mix as well. Kendrick
So,
needs an album that is done in the way of a volume 2 right now.
no,
Because we're saying that's what he lacks, right? He's done the conceptual thing. He's done it where the albums flow and it's been called a classic in that way. I think the closest he's done to that, in my personal opinion, was Damn. Was he had loyalty, he had um he got not DOA, you know what I'm talking about, DNA. He had
DNA.
Humble, Loyalty, and DNA. I think that's the strongest single run he's had on his albums.
I told you his best mic performance is actually Damn. DNA is one of his best verses. That first verse on DNA,
Yeah.
one of his best performances. The verse on Element, one of his best verses. The verses on Feel, some of his best stuff. The back and forth with Riri, some of his most versatile stuff. His mic performance on Damn is epic, Mike. That's why I felt comfortable. It was like, nah, we might need to slide this guy at 10 and see what happens. And what happened was nothing. But back to the Scarface thing, and I'm serious. What happened was nothing. But this is what I mean about going to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa. It's like, oh, but he made To Pimp a Butterfly, Coop. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Scarface made Mr. Scarface's back. And he made The Diary and Untouchable and made. And that's how I felt when I went to the Orsay. It's like, why everybody keep talking about the Louvre and this one painting in here when if you go in here, all this other classic shit sitting around here that ain't nobody talking about. It's like, why are we doing that? It's like, no.
Hudson says that Kendrick's not a single artist. And see, that's a problem in
And
hip
let me
hop.
say this. And let me
Go
say
ahead,
this.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
He doesn't have an album better than The Diary. None of this shit is better than The Diary. Niggas don't be walking around saying that this shit's better than The Diary. I wish somebody would say these albums.
You don't think Good Kid, Mad City's better than The Diary?
No.
I think that the generations are so separated on that. Then it's gonna be one of those things where people who are close to The Diary are gonna say The Diary, and people who are close to Good Kid, Mad City or The Pimp a Butterfly are gonna say those records, and I think that's fine.
I can understand that, and I respect the Good Kid, Mad City thing. Like, if you feel like Good Kid, Mad City is better, then I'm gonna sit up there. And that's debatable. But I'm picking The Diary, but I think it's debatable. Like, ain't no Hand of the Dead Body or Never Seen a Man Die going down on fucking Good Kid, Mad City, but okay.
People are well, yeah. Never Seen a Man Die is a whole nother level, in my opinion.
Ain't no G's on Good Kid, Mad City. Now, when you roll it through your motherfucking hood, tell me what you...
I think you're close to the album, and that's fine. But I think just as close as you are to Scarface's discography, I think that people who came up on Kendrick's are going to be as close to that. Now, what I will say though, is the fact that Scarface kept going, and that break that Kendrick took has separated him from that Scarface conversation, because the strength in both of those guys is their consistency. And Hudson says that Kendrick's not a single artist. Well, Scarface wasn't either.
Scarface.
And so that's where that separation comes in at, is the fact, okay, you're not a single artist, but we expect you to continuously come with these conceptual albums on a consistent basis. And when you don't do that, you're not going to be matched up with this guy who did that 11 times. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's like, and this is what I mean about how you can't really change the narrative. And I hate the like kind of pit Kendrick against Face, because it's not fair to him. but it's the fairest comp because Face is probably the highest guy up on that stratosphere because of the album work. Okay,
And
so
who's
we're
not really a single artist.
or considered to be this supreme lyricist. It's like he says on the fix, "I survived the game of life, nigga. Fuck some skills." He says that, so that's his ethos, and so that's what you're gonna get from Face. So it's not about being lyrical, okay? It's not about the singles. It's about the quality and the depth of what the man says, much like Kendrick, and the ability to put an album together, much like Kendrick. Well, how can y'all sit up here and revere him for these things, but y'all don't talk about Face this way? When Face has literally done this 4 or 5 times more than this guy.
I know why. Because from a technical standpoint, Kendrick is a better rapidy rap rapper, and I think it's in your face, and I think that's why, people like Face and Ice Cube to a certain degree don't get considered with certain, people who handle their lyricism in a different way. Mm-hmm. I mean, they even do that to Tupac. I think so. I remember seeing a tweet out there that, someone said that, I think it was Damian Lillard, said that he loves Tupac, but Kendrick's a better rapper than Tupac, or lyricist. Or something. I don't want to misquote him, but it was based on those notions of using a lot of words. You know what I mean?
Is he a better lyricist than Tupac? It's like, well, yes. Now tell me what else he's better at.
But see, again, we get into this back and forth even when we're doing the rating system.
When people say that, Mike, they're speaking. This is what I'm saying.
But I don't even agree with that. I don't agree with the fact that because you use a bunch of words that makes you a better lyricist. Like, I feel like Tupac said more with less than a lot of these guys who go on, all of these big, run-on sentences, basically. And I'm not talking about Kendrick. I'm just saying in general. You know what I mean?
You're a big believer that you don't have to use your verbiage, your vernacular doesn't have to be like high end in terms of multi-syllabic words or in terms of conjecture in order for it to be lyrical for how you consider it. Because for you, Tupac saying something, I remember Marvin Gaye used to saying to me, he had me feeling like black was the thing to be. That might lyrically make you feel something that all that lyrical miracle stuff will never, ever do in life.
Yeah. Or, I blame my mama for turning my brother into a crack baby and stuff like that. Like, all that other stuff is like, okay, that's cool, but what's real lyricism?
Okay, so Mike, can I tell you, I lean on this. What you're talking about to me is more songwriting than lyricism. And that's why I have Pac so high, because I don't know if we have a better songwriter. Mm-hmm. So I think that's more songwriting than lyrical ability. What I tell people is
but you have to have lyrical ability for songwriting too.
No. And this is what I say is that because Pac is classically trained and more of a poet than a writer, truthfully, and in his heart and in his ethos than an MC, what you have is the supreme songwriting ability coming out. Mm-hmm. But competitively, Mike, what you'll find is that when he has to rapidy rap, oh no, he'll rap. Go listen to America's Most Wanted with Snoop Dogg. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. Bomb hoochies with precision. My intention to get with you with the S and double OP. Dog, my fucking home. No, he rapping different, Mike. He
did that on My Made Up too. Shout out to Jay Short with the super chat. He said today's rap is like the NBA in the 70s. Uneven era. We got what is this? Zumel 28. The super chat, appreciate you. It says, according to chart data, Damn sold 6 million in the U.S. He went on the Damn tour and made 75 million. Every song on that album is certified platinum.
Okay, we're in a different era, and like I get that. Like
he gonna do numbers.
No, I'm not talking about the numbers. Like
you just talking about songs and the legs of those songs.
Right. That's why I brought up classic songs. It's like I don't judge us whether a song is classic or not by how much it moves. It's about how much it moves this culture. It's about how it moves our people.
We just saw, and I'm gonna repeat this. We just saw Eminem get 700 million streams, excuse me, for a song that doesn't do anything for the culture, doesn't shift anything. And you guys never even heard the song.
Right. Like, I mean, how about this? Let's talk about the most important song, arguably, in this culture's history. Fight the Power. How many strings or units has it sold? Is it the biggest selling rap song of all time? Because it's damn sure the most important.
I mean, it's one of them. What about the message? The most important. I think the message might be the most important, but
no. It's the most important song because the ethos of our culture is in the title of that record. Fight.
Well, you know how I feel about PE. I think Fight the Power could be, if we ranking the best hip hop songs of all time, I'm okay with Fight the Power or the message being number one.
Fight the Power is number one to me. Like the message is a top 5, top 10 song to me. I don't hold it like it's ahead of its time. But Fight the Power is just that's it for me. That's it for this culture.
I mean, Elvis was a hero the most, but he never meant shit to me. Straight up racist, simple and plain.
And fuck him. And I like Mike being a black kid and hearing black men talk like that on TV. It was like we can
most
talk
of my
like
heroes didn't appear on no stamp. It's the production too, man. That PE shit was madness, man. And then the message, the delivery, Flav, it was just all worlds colliding, man.
I mean, Mike, they got me into Farrakhan. Like, I almost joined, like, the Nation of Islam. They got me to read the Quran. Like, you know, I'm raised Baptist Christian. Like, that was how strong that, autobiography,
PE was an action. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you hear that music, you hear that message, you hear that delivery, and it's take action music.
Well, also, too, Mike, this is what I mean.
It doesn't even compare to that Kendrick all right stuff. And again, I don't want to be funny or anything. That's passive. That's passive protest. We gonna be all right type stuff. And again, I'm not dissing it or anything. And again, that's Pharrell. That's kind of his personality anyway. But everybody has their own approach. That doesn't even compare to Fight the Power, Bring the Noise, or Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Night of the Living Baseheads.
Yeah, man. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos.
Without a Pause.
Yeah, man. That's different stuff.
Come on. So
you want to talk about some mid. Yeah.
Right. No, you want to talk about evolutionary. Like, that's why I was like, it's like, hold on. Like, it's not, it's got the revolutionary components of that PE shit. It's not that PE shit. It's got the component. I even wrote that in the article. It's like, no, this album was, To Pimp a Butterfly was comprised with It Takes a Nation of Millions in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it was that. It's not that. It's not that.
XML says we were saying that he needed hits, though. It's different. The numbers and hits are different things. And I know you just alluded to that. I just want to, point that out because, they said that in the super chat again. It's different when you're talking about what numbers something did. Again, Eminem's River has done 700 million streams. We don't need Kendrick to make 12 songs like Eminem's River. He needs some songs that's going to shake up the game.
No, not even that. Okay, so let's go through. I mean, name an all-time great rapper, Mike, who he like would be considered comparable to. That's before him, and I'm going to show you what. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about with.
Let's just say Jay-Z, because Jay-Z, by many people's estimation, king of rap, right? For people who wanted it like that.
Right. So you understand this is a man that, first of all, he arguably has, he has at least 2 albums, maybe 3 albums better than Kendrick's best work. Okay?
Ooh, look, we'll get into that a little bit. I want to get this super chat because I want to unpack that. LP says he never seen a John Wayne movie or listened to a full Elvis song in his life. Okay. You're saying that, huh?
What's he saying?
No, he was talking about the motherfucking man John Wayne thing.
What was he saying though? Because I think
he said he never watched the John Wayne movie or heard an Elvis song in his life.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm 40 years old and I'm from the South. So on TBS, guess what they used to play all the time?
John Wayne. Yeah.
And Elvis movies.
Now I used
My
to
mother,
watch those Elvis movies. My dad used
my
to.
mom used
Me and
to
my
like
dad used to
Elvis.
watch
Like
those.
right when when the Elvis movies would be coming on, my mom would be like, "Ooh, Elvis, I love Elvis." I'd be like, "Mom," like,
Elvis
"No."
was a fucking star. The
And that's exactly what she said. She was
yeah.
like, "That was the first sexy white boy we had a crush on." I was like, "Oh,
I would say, in the way that pop stardom is today in the modern era, Elvis is the first. Now,
he's
Frank
Bieber."
Sinatra was the first pop
No,
star by, just any
he
type
was
of
a
standard. But
he was a
by the modern day standard of what a pop star is, you're looking at like these boy bands or whatever, whatever. Elvis is the first of that
no. Elvis was Bieber. He was Bieber first.
in the
Yeah,
50s.
yeah, in the 50s. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that Jay-Z got 3 albums better than Kendrick's best album?
At least two. I said two, maybe three, depending on how you feel about the Black Album. Because Reasonable Doubt and The Blueprint is better than anything Kendrick's ever done. And let's not get into Jay-Z, the hit maker. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like, what conversation you inserting him into? He's not Jay. And y'all know how I've criticized Jay on here. He's not Jay. Like, stop that. He don't
Huh.
have Reasonable Doubt.
Is To Pimp a
Reasonable Doubt.
Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City better than Reasonable Doubt or The Blueprint?
No, no,
I'm gonna
no.
tell you this.
You have no evidence. Where's the
No,
evidence?
no, no, no. I'm gonna tell you this.
Come on.
No, I'm gonna tell you this.
I'm about to take us
I
to jail.
personally would rather listen. Now, I personally would rather listen to Reasonable Doubt or The Blueprint over all those albums. But I don't know if it's clear cut that
No,
most
no,
people would. I
this
think
is what
that
I'm
could be
talking about.
generational too. What do you guys think in the chat? Do y'all think
Let's
that Good
no,
Kid, Mad
let's.
City is better than The Blueprint?
This is why I bring up classics.
Okay.
How comes? Listen to this.
Heart of the
Let's
City.
just no. Let's start at Reasonable Doubt. Can't Knock the Hustle. Classic. Politics as Usual. Classic. Brooklyn's Finest. Classic. Dead Presidents. Classic. Feeling It. Classic. The Evils. Classic. 22 Twos. Classic. Can I Live? Classic. Mike, I didn't skip any songs. He just made more classic records. He just made more classic records on his magnum opus in the first 8 songs than there are on Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly. What are we talking about? There aren't 8 classic songs on Good Kid, Mad City. There are not 8 classic songs on To Pimp a Butterfly. That is a fact.
People in the chat are agreeing with you. You know what? Y'all saying I'm bugging? I'm not bugging. I was just trying to be balanced. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping.
So let's get back to this again. The guy that's trying to murder all you niggas when he steps on the mic and that's smoking on top 5, it's like, well, what top 5 are you talking about? If you're talking about top 5 for your era, well, yeah, maybe. But that's about the only top 5 you smoking on. You're not smoking on the top 5 from this era. You're not smoking on the top 5 of all time. You need to be happy that after 5 years, we having this motherfucking conversation about your ass.
But that, you know what? At the end of the day, the fact that he's been gone for 5 years and people are this open and ready to hear new music from him, that speaks to what he's done over his career, which is great. But this is the thing. This is the thing. Y'all are going to hype this project up and get disappointed.
How about this? You want to know why everybody's so hyped? And we're just going to address it again because you and I have addressed it. Well, Mike, he came along in a weak climate. That's why I told you. It's like, no, we need to see him come outside and operate and talk. We need him to keep that same energy that he's been keeping when he was considered to be the best MC of the game right now while there's viable conversation and competition from all eras.
This needs to be the most rapping album that he's ever made. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it like that. I'm not going to sit here and accuse him of singing and this and that, but this needs to be the most rapping album that he ever made. He don't need to go out there and do what he did on that Jeezy feature with J. Cole. We don't need none of that stuff. We don't need all that, I want to press my line, yeah. We don't need that stuff. No. This needs to be the most rapping shit that he's ever made because all that top whatever is based on your rapping skills. And this is the things that we had to unpack with Andre 3000. You're a great artist. You're a very talented person. But when it comes to where your place is in the game, it's based on your rapping skills. Not your guitar playing, not your singing, not your writing or producing for others. It's rapping skills. And so we need you to rap on this effort. And if you don't, then there's a lot of other people who are.
I mean, no, I'm just gonna keep on sliding them down because that's why I mean it's like, well, I had you at 10 when you made Damn. Look at what Pusha T's done since then.
This is
Look at
real.
what Kiss has done since then. Look at what Black Thought has done since then. Even Redman's BET Cypher performance was since then, Mike. Even the Cypher performance has happened since then.
It's been a lot. Mad Max with the super chat, $20, man. We appreciate you, Mad Max. Let me see what he got to say right here. He says, "Does Kendrick have an album better than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy from Kanye?
No,
Like I
no.
like ASAP Rocky's second album more than To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City. Only classic because it has great songs and '90s feel with the skits, but it has a lot of that chill sound." That's an interesting point because Mad Max looks a little younger. How old are you, Mad Max? I want to know. But he said something about ASAP's album being better than Good Kid, Mad City to him. ASAP made a mark on this generation, and so for people to think that some of those efforts are better than some of the Kendrick efforts, that's not a crazy thought.
Hold on, you talking about Long Live ASAP?
I think so.
Yeah, Long Live ASAP is the shit, Mike.
And it got hits.
That's one
They
of
aged
Mike,
pretty well too.
That was a time when I was out of love with rap. That was one of those few albums I was like, oh no, yep, that guy.
LP with the super chat, man. He said, "Can y'all blame them though? Y'all did the same. Maybe that's his impact. Great at first, but doesn't last over time." And that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? You can have and I say this respectfully, you can have a Tracy McGrady type of career.
Yeah.
But you got to be put in context.
Hold on. Did Tracy McGrady make the top 75 team though?
He did not. But he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. And so that's what I mean. It's like, well, when I start looking at certain stuff, well, let's just go to somebody like, and I'm going to say this again, Jadakiss. It's like, well, do you have a better catalog than Jadakiss? Well, that's not a fucking question. Show me what else you have that deserves to be ahead of him. Because if that's it, you don't have a better voice. No. Are you a better lyricist? No. Do you have better verses? No. Have you been part of more classic songs than him? No. Are you considered to even be more important to the fabric of this culture than him? No.
Kendrick falling short on features is a big dent in his armor. Outside of this break. Mad Max with another super chat. He says, like to me, Kendrick is a watered down Lupe who has more accessible to the mainstream, or like another Common with more flair. I'm taking Cole over Kendrick, but that's just me. I'm 26 years old, born in 1996. Okay.
Ooh,
it's a really good take.
I've got some perspective, Mike. Hold on. How about this? Here's the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You got somebody who's a top 20 MC that some people have in their top 5, some people have in their top 10, but how his career has been going the last few years has been sliding. Is Kendrick Lamar better than Common? And if so, how?
No, I don't. I can't make that argument. Jay Short, I want to get into that real quick. Jay Short says, "Don't forget that this is his first album as his own boss." Okay, I think that gives him more freedom. Okay, as far as Common goes,
what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I guess I feel like he's always had artistic freedom, but
they're giving this man full artistic and creative freedom and let him do whatever the fuck he wants from the jump. Let's not get that twisted. Like they've been like, Kendrick, you got to make a record like that, because I think the first and the last time we saw that was Poetic Justice on Good Kid, Mad City, and we haven't seen nothing like that since. He's got full creative license. I don't want to hear that.
I think Kendrick is a better, again, word salad rapper, for lack of a better term, than Common. Where he's going to do a whole bunch of run-on sentences and you hear it and you hear Common and you'll be like, okay, well, he can rap better than him. But when it comes to actually putting together albums and songs, I can't say that he's ahead of Common. Now, you said that about the Blueprint. And you know how I feel about B. I think B's better than the Blueprint. So if that's the case, Kendrick doesn't have a better album than B.
So hold on. This is what I mean about how it gets dangerous. It gets real dangerous when you start leaning on your catalog for your greatness. So here's what I'll submit to you. And other people have said this before, and we actually even have had some discussion and debate about it. I told you it's like, well, I like Common and Game catalog better than Kendrick catalog. And about the Game stuff, people said I was tripping. But almost everybody was with me on the Common stuff. So let's unpack it right quick. Resurrection. One day it'll all make sense. Like water for chocolate. B. Finding Forever. Those are 5 stellar albums.
Yeah. Blue Collar Hustler says Common is top 5. Don't ever disrespect.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how is this guy smoking on top 5s when he's not even Common? And Common, more realistically, is a 10 to 20 rapper.
I think with Common's catalog, I have to say Common's a 10 to 15. But see, the only thing that Common is missing is something that Kendrick doesn't really have either. It's just those songs where it just, like you said, just took over a
But
certain
he has
era.
that even. But Mike, he even has that over Kendrick because
With the corner?
He has the corner. He has the light. Like the light is getting played forever, Mike. You understand that?
Yeah.
That was going to get played forever.
The Fool was a moment, man. That Dave Chappelle performance.
Mike, I've heard the light played on the Quiet Storm before. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I'm saying that record's getting played forever, they played the light on the Quiet Storm.
I used to love us getting played forever too.
I used to love us getting played forever.
I mean, Brown Sugar was pretty much made around that song. The movie.
Mike, Love of My Life is getting played forever too. I hear that shit every time I turn on an old school hip hop and R&B station. Every time, without fail.
Common has a great catalog, man.
Hold on, Mike. He got even some of the subsidiary stuff like "Come Close" with Mary J. Blige.
It's a beautiful song.
All Night with Erykah Badu off One Day It'll All Make Sense. It's like Kendrick has All Right.
I mean, Common's done better songs than that, and I like All Right a lot.
And we're not even getting into Common's, like, for me, forte, which is like he does a lot of what Nas does well, that street reporter rhetoric. He's like really not a reporter of it. He's more like it's like he says on inhale magic and breathe wonder. That's his style. On Invocation, he says, I inhale magic and breathe wonder. Common inhales his environment and he exhales like a beautiful song out of it. Kendrick does a lot of the same thing. Have you even done it to the level that Comm's done it? Why are we talking about you?
Because we're not even talking about the 6th Sense. I hear Go a lot too. You know,
we just got done talking about the stuff that's on Finding Forever. That was Mike. That's at the tail end of his prime. Kendrick doesn't even have some of that stuff in his prime that Common was doing at the tail end of his prime.
Yo, one of my favorite Common appearances is on 1999. Like, ooh. Yo, man, that's what I like when he raps like that more than anything. Now, obviously, I like B for what it is, but as far as like his style, where he was like writing for freedom, fighting for freedom, the record company niggas I don't like when I see him, my ancestors when I write and I see him and talk with him, hoping in the promised land I will walk with him. Shitted on so many rappers like I'm in a stall with him. Yo, he was going crazy on that song.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you how real that is. That's sitting in a CD case over in the cubby hole of the basement in my second CD case. So I have a case with all of my CDs that I love, and then there's the case of the CDs that I used to think that I loved and I don't. And then there's a CD case with all my mixtape and single stuff. I bought the 1999 single off that first. It's still sitting over there.
Shit is crazy.
Shit is crazy.
Yeah. After quoting that, man, and I love Kendrick. It's not better than Common. But again, I hope with this new album, we get some dope ass rap shit to be able to compare more with.
Hold on. Let's keep going. Let's stay in the realm. Chuck D, is he better than Chuck D, Mike?
Listen, man, I don't even put Chuck D in debates. I don't even like nobody's better. I can't say anybody's better than Chuck.
We're talking about this guy's rhetoric in his catalog. Yeah. It's like, well, his catalog not fucking with P's first 2 albums, and your rhetoric's not fucking with Chuck. So,
yeah, I mean, obviously on a skill level, you know, I think like this is relevant. Here's another NBA analogy, right? Somebody said, I forgot who said it. It was a post that I saw where they were saying that Kyrie and Durant are the most skilled players, 2 skilled players to ever play together. And they were saying more than LeBron and Wade and Jordan and Pippen. And LeBron and Wade agreed with it and said, you know, yeah, they some real skilled guys. When you start putting in stuff like that, things get foggy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think we start using that when we talk about people like Eminem and even Kendrick. It's like, yeah, he's more skilled than Chuck, But what does that mean? Do
Well, I was about to say,
fundamentals not require skill?
well,
Exactly.
the first thing that I thought about when they said that, it was like, actually, for the era that we've seen in terms of the skill set, probably not. And that's just honestly because Pippen is somebody that's not as skilled as those guys. Okay, he made himself into that. A lot of that is defending Michael Jordan in practice every day and listening to Mike talk shit for about 2 or 3 years before you get to that level.
It's gotta be
You're gonna get to
difficult
it.
guarding Michael Jordan in practice every day.
Right.
That's gonna make you a better defender.
Period. Well, that's what I tell people. The best one-on-one defender all time is Scottie Pippen. And if you want to know why, it's like, well, look who he had to guard in practice every day. He's going best one-on-one ball defender ever. He shut down Magic in an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Magic was having.
Well,
Magic
I wouldn't say shut down, but he did well.
Mike, Magic Johnson abused Michael Jordan in Game 1 when Mike tried to guard Magic because Mike wanted the assignment. Phil made the astute observation, put Scotty on Magic Johnson. They proceeded to win the next 4 games after losing Game 1 at home.
No,
Scotty shut down Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, I don't even think averaged 20 points a game in that series, and Kareem was gone. He needed to average at least 25.
Yeah, it was I think he was like 18,
17,
8 or something.
2.9, 8 and 8 or something like that, which is like, oh, you're like, that's good, except for when you're like one of the top 5 players that ever played this game. That's not good.
In the finals,
What I thought about when they said that is actually like, Mike, young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson played together once. And Oscar Robertson fundamentally was as sound at every aspect of his game at that point in time as Kyrie was. At the time, as far as a point guard is concerned and what a point guard was asked to do in all facets and aspects of the court, there was nothing that Oscar Robertson couldn't do on the court, much like Kyrie, supreme ball handler, mid-range game, you name it, Oscar Robertson can do it. And he had this guy that was still going by Lou Alcindor at the time that like literally was averaging 35 points a game and blocking about 4 shots a game. And then there's Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, who were both averaging roughly 30 points a game together for some seasons. So it's like, when you look at errors, it's like, no, Jerry West and Elgin Baylor were out there doing everything. The stuff Michael Jordan and Dr. J did, Elgin Baylor did first. There just was no video recordings of it.
Jay Short says, sometimes too much artistic freedom is not a good thing. Some artists need Puffy, Suge, Top Dog. I can see Kendrick going off the rails.
Oh.
And, speaking of which, and even if you want to talk about artistic freedom and going off the rails, Andre needed Big Boy. That was the balance. We got those Outkast albums because of their incredible balance with one another. And the fans also understood that, Big Boy, Andre is not going to take it too far because Big Boy's here.
Right.
And listen to this title. Listen to this title again. Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers. We got Damn, To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Section 8. If we're just ranking album titles, this is at the bottom.
It's just not cool when these guys like blow up, make these millions of dollars, get in their 30s and try to act like rap isn't cool anymore. Like, I don't like that. Like, it would be different if it's like, if it didn't provide you with your whole, like, fucking lifestyle and everything that you have that comes with it. Like, it's so disrespectful. Like, that's like a guy that spends like 50 years working at a job in a company, and that job literally is provided for him in his whole life and giving him pension and retirement, provided for his family, put the kid through college, and then he retires and he's like, man, fuck that job. It's like,
it's like, listen, man, if you're a plumber, if you're a plumber, right, and then you made your whole life on that, put your kids through school and all that, I ain't no damn plumber. If somebody call you a plumber, you get offended. Or somebody asks you to help them out with something that a plumber would know, you're like, man, I don't do that plumber shit no more, man. Like, I ain't no plumber.
I'm thankful for every way and every time I've been able to provide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like on some real shit, like every which way that it has come, I've been thankful for it. So there's something really fucking stuck up about it when niggas come from the projects and start behaving this way, especially when it's a guy who, let's not get it twisted. You remember the end to Pimp a Butterfly with the Tupac conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Where he talks about how niggas over 30 here in America start acting
Yeah.
and losing their fire
Yeah.
and their passion
Yeah.
and their ability to speak their mind.
You lose your fight.
And losing your fight. And here you go. We hearing rumblings for the last 2-3 years about a rock album.
We haven't heard a over 30 Kendrick album yet. He's 34. We're going on 5 years. When Damn came out, he was 29.
That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like you've had all this passion and all this rhetoric and all this conception and all this vitriol in your 20s. I hope you're not turning into one of them niggas in your 30s like Tupac was talking about, because my black ass hasn't. Matter of fact, I got to address some black ass shit I said about Jack Harlow last week, because at 40, I haven't lost that fire and that passion. And so when I see a title that sounds like some band leader's album, and I hear rumblings about a rock album, but when you do rap, you talking about you smoking on some top 5, when we haven't heard an album in 5 years. And the truth of the matter is you was on the back end of the top 10 the last time we heard you, and you're not there now. Like, motherfucker, you better stop talking and deliver. Like, the tweet that you sent is all we need to fucking see. Now give us the music, and if the music's not up to par, you need to have several seats. But mostly, all of y'all that's been bigging up in him, telling me that I need to keep this energy. Y'all the one that need to have several seats.
I can't wait.
Oh, Mike, it better be epic.
I can't wait.
It better be epic. People talking about me better keep that energy. No, that nigga better be in the motherfucking
No. Y'all better keep the same energy. Y'all better keep the same energy.
But here's the thing about it, Mike, and you and I know this because once upon a time we rap. We know that it's like, oh, when you take this long to rap,
you're out of rhythm.
Something's wrong. We know something's wrong. Mike, you know it sometimes when you just freestyle randomly over a beat that you may hear that you like, and you don't catch the cadence to it like you may like because you don't do it regularly like
exactly.
Right. You know, Mike, like, come on.
LP says M never made a rock album. And that's right. Well, I got to give him that. But yeah, you're right. When you're out of practice, like you hear a beat, like listen, I used to freestyle all the time. So it was like second nature. And I jump on that now, I can still do it, but it's not like it was when I was doing the shit every day. That 5-year break, man, it's going to hit them. It's kind of like this Kaepernick shit, right? Where it's like people think Kaepernick could take, once again, is it a 5-year break, 5 or 6 year break, and just jump back in the league?
No.
You can't do that. You can't do that on anything. No one is that second natured at anything to be able to jump out of something for 5 years and jump back in with people who are doing this shit every day.
Hold on. Michael Jordan in his prime, arguably the greatest ever at what he did. Probably. Might be the greatest athlete ever. In his prime, took, what was it, 17 months off?
Yep.
And came back, Mike.
Sweat.
And needed not only to come back and play what? The final 27 games? But needed a whole off season after those 27 games to get back to something that resembled his peak form before he left. And he was the best that ever did it. And notoriously the hardest worker in basketball.
Yeah, he didn't just come back from baseball and go beat Orlando. No.
Okay, Orlando beat that ass.
Yeah.
Shaq blocked his shot in a moment that mattered. I had never seen
Nick Anderson stole the ball from him in a moment that mattered. I've never seen Michael Jordan get the ball stolen from him.
I've seen his pocket get picked before. His pocket has been picked before.
But not like that. Not like in a key moment in the game.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And so it's like people talking. This is what I keep saying. Is just like, why are y'all talking about him like he's Rakim?
LP says Nas is in his 30s, spoke more than ever, and risked commercial success for the message. Yeah.
I mean, bringing up that Rakim 5-year break. It's like because like lyrically, hearing Rakim 5 years after the last time you heard him, it's like, oh, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as it gets when you take 5 years off.
Somebody said Common is a brunch rapper. That's hilarious. Um, on that note,
Hold on. You want to know what? Guess what? When you rap at brunch, that means you're outside. At least this nigga's outside.
at least he's outside. It's an outside brunch. Huh? Okay, before we move on, because we're going real long right now. Any predictions for the Kendrick album? I know we're going to talk about this again before
I
May
predict
13th.
if it's in a rap album that's the equivalent to Damn, I'm going to be doing what it is that I do, which is being honest about it, and I'm not going to let up about it.
My predictions is it's not going to be a lot of rapping, and it's going to be some mid. I think that
How about this? Go ahead.
It's going to my prediction, and again, I know y'all gonna say I'm hating or whatever, just based on everything that we see, based on the lack of rhythm, based on the 5-year break. I think that it's gonna be a step below Section 80, which I think okay. I got To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, Section 80, and it's gonna be behind that.
So, how would you rate Section 80 out of how many purple tapes would you give Section 84?
Yeah, definitely.
So you think we got a 3.5, 3.75 coming up?
Yeah. And again, before y'all say I'm biased and this and that, again, there's nobody who's been able to come back from a 5-year break and jump right into form and make some of the stuff that they've been able to make in their peak talent. I think that what Coop said about Michael Jordan is a perfect correlation. When he went off and played baseball at the top of his game, he's gone for 17 months. He came back and he needed a whole nother season. Now, if y'all want to tell me he drops this album and it's a mid, and then he comes back next year with a strong album, then that I believe. Right. This one, nah.
And when I mean off season for Michael Jordan, do you remember the Last Dance where he's like he told the guys, "Go on vacation for a week, and we're back in here."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like it literally took him the entirety of the off season.
Entirety of it.
Okay. So it took the greatest of all time about 6 to 7 months just to get his game back.
Yeah.
And y'all telling me after 5 years that this guy's just going
to jump back in and make an album better than Damn. Because that's what he needs to do.
Right. And that's why I'm going to go to that's why I'm going to go to the 18th letter again. It's like, well, the 18th letter yielded classic songs that showed who Rakim was. Is this album going to at least do that? That's why I keep bringing up Rakim in the 18th letter. It's like, no, 5-year break. Can you do The Saga Begins? It's been a long time. New York, The Mystery, who was like, can you? Because like, that's the best feat that we've seen pulled off from somebody in this climate, taking 5 years off. And I'm going to say this again. When he took the 5-year break, Mike, he was considered to be the greatest MC of all time. And like you said, his group broke up. And what some people don't know, I believe his father passed in that time too.
Well, his father passed when Let the Rhythm hit him during that time. Yeah, right before that. But I'm sure he's still dealing with that.
Right. And so, but he was the greatest MC of all time when he left. Yeah. And he didn't come back and be like king again.
Someone in the chat said something about, we don't know if it already wasn't recorded and this and that. Listen, I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. If this nigga had an album done and completed, and this is what we're about to hear on May 13th, everybody in the world, we would have gotten this the week of the Super Bowl. So let's cut that out. The fact that he didn't drop anything when the whole world was watching during the Super Bowl lets me know he didn't have an album. And he didn't have an album that was near done. Because they would have burned the midnight oil to make sure that shit got completed to piggyback off the Super Bowl. Everybody put out stuff during the Super Bowl. That's what you do. That's the point of it.
No, you're right. Somebody said you're thinking too much. I think they're pointing at the wrong person. He's the one that's thinking too much.
Yeah.
Because I think what's happened in these last 5 years is that he's cycled through different flows and styles, trying to find the next thing that sticks that's going to make him continue to ride his wave. And here's what I mean about ride his wave. Well, this wave is not based on his lyrical ability. He's not Rakim or Nas or Thought or Lupe like that on the mic. Well, this isn't based on his hit-making ability. He's not Big or Jay. or Pop at hit making. Well, this isn't based on his storytelling ability or depth because he's not Scarface, he's not Ghostface. And we have already identified and established these things. And so what is happening and what I'm trying to tell you is that, well, let me ask you something about Kendrick Lamar. Do you really know who Kendrick Lamar is? Like after four albums, do you know who he is?
And I feel like Damn was him. And and when I heard, all right, this is the thing. And I want to get to what LP said too. He said that Rakim style in the 80s was Eric B's. That was a super chat we needed to get to. But okay. No, I don't know. I mean, that's what he said.
Clarify that.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say was when I heard Good Kid, Mad City, I felt like, okay, this is an all hands on deck industry album or whatnot. Sort of like the documentary in a sense, without all the features, right? And then when I heard the transition to Pimp a Butterfly, I was like, okay, this is really him. This is the album that he wanted to make. And then I heard Damn, and then I heard the way he was talking about To Pimp a Butterfly, negatively almost. I was like, okay, this is him. This is who he wants to be sonically. Like, so if there's any album that I would say is him, I would say either Section 80 or Damn. And I would lean more towards Damn.
Okay, so I say Section 80 is the kid who is becoming a man that we hear on Good Kid, Mad City. And we don't really know who this guy is since To Pimp a Butterfly is what I'm trying to say. We don't really.
Somebody said that he doesn't need the Super Bowl. Why was he there? Everyone needs the Super Bowl. We got to stop that stuff, man. We got to stop that stuff. He didn't need the Super Bowl. Why was he there?
Go ahead.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course he needed the Super Bowl, and that is the biggest. What do y'all think the Super Bowl is for? They don't pay you to do the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is for promotion.
Hold on.
And if you had an album done, and when you got, everybody's watching the Super Bowl. Everybody's watching the Super Bowl halftime show. That's why all the ad revenue for indie commercial there is the highest in the world. They know everybody is watching this one program at one time. So if you had music, it was coming right after that. You didn't have music.
Of all the people who performed, he's the one that actually needed the promotion the most. What are we talking about?
Because he's supposed to be active.
What does Dr. Dre need to promote? Hello, I'm the greatest hip-hop producer of all time and the author of this West Coast gangster rap sound. My name is Snoop Dogg. I'm the only person that made 2 of the 10 greatest rap albums ever made. My name is 50 Cent. I went diamond the first time I went out. My name is Mary J. Blige. Who the fuck? I'm Eminem. I'm selling 700 million streams of something black people have not heard. He is the only one who actually needed that promotion and that publicity. This is what I'm talking about bringing these Kendrick fans back to the reality of who he really is in this hip-hop sphere.
I agree. Well, let's leave it there because I know we're going to talk about this a little bit more. We got to move on.
I want to see him smoke on my top 5 on May 13th. That's what I'm gonna say. If this album is an album of the year, I'm gonna start off by naming my top 5 and be like, who y'all think he's smoking on?